Hello friends. So till the previous video we have seen the calculation of all the poles and zero. But when we were calculating this pole, I have considered this 1 upon GM3, the impedance offered by this M3 and the impedance offered by M4, which is nothing but IDS4. But the point to think here is that is this correct to consider the IDS4 here and 1 upon GM3 here? I think it is not a correct way. I simply calculated, but there is a catch. The catch is that at that frequency, when we are expecting the pole at this node, because we know the Cy is much smaller than the Cy, sorry, Cx is much smaller than the Cy, and also is a much smaller than the Cl. So the frequency around which this pole particularly contributed by node X is coming, these two caps should offer very low impedance. If these caps are offering very low impedance, then how this RDS4 can come into the picture? This is the point to think. Okay, so what I mean to say, I'll tell. Before that, I should recap here. What is the omega P1? We have calculated R out CL. What is the omega P2? We have seen GM3 by Cy. What is the omega G? Which is nothing but 2 GM3 by Cy. Okay. Now we will see what is the omega P3 exactly, which is nothing but coming due to this Cx term, capacitance. While we were calculating the Rx, I considered this RDS of M4 and 1 upon GM3 impedance offered by the M3, but there is some difference. It should not be like that because at that particular frequency, when we are calculating the omega P3 node, the capacitance Cy and capacitance Cl should be nearly sorted, or they should offer the very low impedance there. Okay, so I will consider a few assumptions here. Let at the frequency when my pole P3 is occurring, at the frequency when pole P3 is occurring, the impedance offered by caps Cl and Cy is much smaller. I'm considering that Xy is smaller than 1 upon GM3 at that frequency. This is my assumption, not exactly. And XL, due to this load cap, is much smaller than this RDS4. This is a true assumption, but it cannot be that true that I have considered here. Because 1 upon GM3 itself is a low impedance. 1 upon GM3 is also low. Maybe XCY at that point of frequency of the order of GM3, or it can be lesser also. So I am considering it is much lesser. So what we will see exactly, the diagram should be not exactly like that. Okay. So what should be there? So instead of this thing, so exactly two things are happening here. This is my M3 and here is one cap. At this node I will separately mention here is Cy. This is my M1. Okay, so what point I want to make here, that effectively what you'll see here, if this cap impedance is dominating over this 1 upon GM3 capacitance, 1 upon GM3 impedance, then this will be dominating, and RDS on this RDS4, if the CL cap is dominating, impedance offered by CL is dominating, and effectively what we will see this structure M0, M1, M2. Okay, so this is the effective impedance. This side we will see RS1, this side we will see RS2, this side we will see RDS not. Okay, so this thing we have seen, RS is nothing but RS1 parallel RS2 parallel RDSU. So this is the exactly impedance at this particular node X. Okay, this is my node X. So this thing we can calculate. and I'll consider it as Z1, and I'll consider it as Z2, and effectively we'll see at frequency of P3, one assumption that the impedance offered by Y is much smaller, so I can consider it nearly zero. Also, I can CL, I can also consider it to be nearly zero. Then what you see, effective structure can be seen like this. Now it is very clear. This side is 1 upon Gm, 1 and Gm 2 is RDA. So what Rx exactly for this structure is coming as 1 upon Gm1 parallel 1 upon Gm2 parallel RDS 0, and it is approximately 1 upon Gm1 parallel 1 upon Gm2, and we know that Gm1 equal to Gm2, so approximately I can write it as 1 upon 2 Gm1 comma 2. Okay, this is my Rx. So what is the pole contributed by this node is, sorry, P3 is nothing but 2 Gm12 by Cx. Okay, so as we know that ideally for the better matching purpose, we keep this what we saw now, what is it, we keep Gm1 too high. There are many stories behind it, but usually we keep it high, and Cx is very low, so this P3 is very far. Okay, so I have considered few more assumptions here, but for time being, you can solve this particular also. You can solve this particular where Z1 and Z2 are there. So for that, whatever the ways I mentioned many times, so you can follow them just by applying a test source here, and here we have some Z. We can easily calculate what is the looking of impedance, and effectively you will see at that frequency it is nearly coming to zero. So this is the only impedance at this node X. So from there we can see what is the omega contributed by this particular node. Okay, so what is a pole frequency? So what we have seen from here, omega P2 is much greater than omega P1. One thing, omega P3 is much greater than omega P1, because omega P3 is also much greater than the omega P2, or I will say omega Z is equal to 2 omega P2. It's thing we have seen. Okay, so now from this Bode plot, what we can see, what is happening, this is my dominant pole, which is omega P1, and till the UGB it is my first order system. So omega u, because omega u is also some big number, gm12y cl. Okay, and omega p1 I should write all here. Omega p1 is 1 upon r out by cl, where r out is equal to rds2 parallel rds4, so this is a big number, hence omega p1 is very small. Omega p2 is gm3 by cy. Omega g is equal to 2gm3 by cy. Omega p3 equal to 2gm12 by cx. Okay, so yes, wait, so what I will mention here, this is omega p. Somewhere here I'll get omega p2, so the slope will be now less, and after that somewhere here will be omega z, the slope will again recover to -20, and after the long time back there is some sort of omega 3, omega p3. Okay, So this is the exactly Bode plot that we are looking here. And our concern is not till this point, our concern is till this point only. Okay. So in this particular window, if I am having the first order system till UGB or around UGB then stability is good. Good stability. That thing we can see here. And this is my DC gain, dB scale. Okay. So the slope, in terms of slope, I should mention here, it is minus 20 dB per decade. It is minus 20 dB per decade, minus 40 dB per decade, minus 40 dB per decade. Okay, so this thing we can see from this plot. And phase plot homework. Okay, you can plot the phase as well, and you can see what is happening here. Okay, so I think as of now, our frequency response for 5 transistor OT structure is completed. And if some good question will come into my mind, I'll design new video regarding to that. So till this video, whatever we have seen, the ways of calculating different node impedances and accordingly the poles and zeros. So they are very important. We can always keep the ways of calculation in our mind so that there should not be any mistake while we are calculating all these things. Okay, so this is enough for this video. Thank you.